So we are discussing Indian Reservation, Caughnawaga by A.M. Klein. Can you see the PPT? Sorry, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Lines, okay. So Indian Reservation, Caughnawaga is a colony in Canada, right, where the natives, Red Indians of Canada lived. An Indian reservation, that's a place in reserved for the colonies that is reserved, that are inhabited by these natives, right? So we saw the first stanza, which starts with a rhetorical question, right? Where are the braves? The faces like autumn fruit, who stared at the child from the colored frontispiece. The brave Red Indians who were once brave. See, where are the braves? The semantic differences. They were brave once upon a time, but today they are not. They are no more brave. The faces like autumn fruit, where are they? The faces which were full of wisdom and knowledge, ripe with wisdom, where are they? Right? Abruptly, A.M. Klein begins this poem to get the reader's attention. It begins with a melancholic tone, right? And it shows the condition of Red Indians, the natives of Canada today, who stared at the child from the colored frontispiece and the monosyllabic chief, the chief of the tribe who spoke in a guttural voice, right? He just spoke a few words, which made a lot of sense, which was full of wisdom. Each word was full of wisdom. And these people were able to understand it and see in the difference between aboriginal knowledge and the white people's knowledge is that maybe we are in a way trained to read and write. Uh, our knowledge is not, of course, we use memory, but memory is fundamental for these people. They pass down their knowledge through memory, through oral literatures, right? And that is how they have learned and they have passed down the secrets of the tribes, right, to the child, the father or the elders of the tribe. They teach them. Where are the tribes? The feathered beastiaries, right? The feathered, the fur, all these are symbols of these tribes, right? They paint themselves in red and is comparing them to the mythical animals, Aesop's animals, erect and red, how smart and resourceful, like Aesop's animals, with fur on their names to make all living things skin. The life they lived with nature, right? The kinship they had with nature, with all the living and non-living creatures, right? With all the landscape entirety, in its entirety, right? So, as I told you many times, that the view of the natives and the view of the colonizers, the white people, how they saw the land, right? For the natives, for the Red Indians of Canada, it's sacred. Their culture is fundamentally rooted in the landscape. But for a white man, it is just a dump yard. It's a commodity, right? A place to be owned, possessed. But these people have a collective ownership, right? And is referring to those animals, chief running deer, black bear, old buffalo head. So the second stanza, childhood that wished me Indian, hoped that one after school I would leave the classroom chalk, the varnish smell, the watered dust of the street, to join the clean outdoors and the Iroquois track, the chief tribe, Iroquois track. Childhood, but always as on a calendar, there stood the chief with arms akimbo, waiting the runaway muskets paddling to his shore. So you can see the speaker of the poem. He wishes that wanted to be maybe wish be Indian, hope that one after school maybe he wanted to go outside that four-wall classroom and enjoy nature outside, right? You want to live like the Red Indians. I would leave the classroom chalk, the varnish smell, all unnatural smells, the watered dust of the street. So the speaker of the poem earns to join the clean outdoors. Maybe you can see the perspective of an adulthood as well as a child. Okay, the aim claims, in fact, he's trying to, maybe he becomes nostalgic about what he saw in the, what he sees in the calendar, right? Maybe he's not aware of this, and these people are no more a living creature, a living culture, and they were essentially maybe commodified. They were in pictures in museums today, right? But when he was a child, he saw this picture of the chief of the tribe, the monosyllabic chief, right, with arms akimbo, right? The way he held his arms in his hip, right? That's a sign of self-esteem. But are they today? Are they today? That's the lament of this poem. Are they brave? Are they brave? Are they uh, holding on to their culture, tradition, like how they lived years before? Waiting the runaway musket paddling to his shore, a symbol of prosperity, a good omen, runaway musket paddling to his shore. With what strange moccasin steel that scene is changed. Can anyone read the third stanza? Third stanza. With what strange moccasin steel that scene is changed.
With what strange?
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. With now it's not visible.
Just, yeah.
With what strange moccasin slit that scene is changed. With French names,
Hmm.
with French names without pain. In overalls, their bronze like their nobility expunged. The men, beneath their elementary shawls,
Ah,
beneath their elementary shawls sit like black tents their squaws, while for the tourist, brown pennies scattered at the old church door, the ragged papooses jump and bite the dust.
dust. Okay. With what strange moccasin steel the scene is changed, right? What is moccasin? Can I say what is moccasin? Maybe you can just Google it and see. See, it's a, I think a kind of a shoe, right? Can you just tell me what is moccasin? Moccasin. Right. It's a kind of a shoe which is made of the deer skin and leather, okay, together, right? And with what strange moccasin steel this that scene is changed with French names without paint. See, they have lost their tradition. They have lost their traditional names, replaced by French names, right? They have lost their paint. They used to paint themselves with red, right? They have lost their ornaments, the metal ornaments they used to wear, the bronze ornaments, right? They have lost their, okay, dress, right? Their shoe. But now they are wearing white man's clothes, white man's shoes, and maybe the cultural change that has happened. See, everywhere you can see cultural change at every point of time. Maybe if you see any society, cultural change is inevitable, right? If you see British history, there is a lot of cultural change over a period of time. Am I audible? Are you following me? Okay. There is a cultural change. Maybe you can see from every aspect, okay, of life, or every aspect of the society. You can see changes happening over a period of time, from Puritan to liberalism, the Renaissance, Reformation, and so many things we can talk about when we see the maybe British history. We say for every century you can see some change, or for every period the changes happen, or we say for a particular period as the zeitgeist or the spirit of the age that influences literature, and literature vice versa. But here, the change that usually happens gradually, right? Slowly. Now, there is a rapid change in their way of life because of colonization, the impact of colonization on their psyche, on their culture, tradition, especially. More importantly, the fall of tradition is what we are talking about in this poem. The fall of culture, the native culture, right? Can you hear me? Are you following me? Am I audible enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So here these lines show that they have lost that, right? But what's strange, Marcus and Steele, that scene is changed. The scene is entirely changed. With French names without paint and overalls, their bronze, like their nobility, expunged, right? They were noble in their tradition, with their courageous nature, with their nobility. Okay, all these things were expunged. The men beneath their alimentary shawls, okay, their nourishing shawls, sit like black tents, their squaws, while for the tourists, brown pennies scattered at the old church door, the ragged papooses, right? The ragged, okay, dirty, torn backs, jump and bite the dust. See, what's the condition of these native children today? What's the condition of this native people? Right? They are sitting like beggars at the old church door, right? And what they are doing is they are waiting for the white man, right? Penny, brown pennies. They are like beggars today, waiting for the white man's penny at the old church door. They are sitting for the white tourists, or the just tourists in general, to come and put something for them. See the condition today. Read the next three lines. They are just fighting for the penny, to take the penny in the dust. The next stanza.
Their past is sold in a shop, the beaded shoes, the sweetgrass baskets, the curio Indian, burn wood and gaudy cloth and inch canoes.
Can you see the next stanza? Continuation of that. Yeah. Read. Trophies.
Trophies and scalpings for a traveler's den. Sometimes it's true they dance but for a bribe. After a deal done, the bedraggled feather and welcome a white mare to the tribe.
Yeah. So their past is sold in a shop. Their past, right? Their identity is sold in the shop. Their past, all those things they use, the fur, right? The beaded shoes, the curio Indian burnt wood, the gaudy clothes, the flashy clothes they own, okay? They over colorfully, right? And inch canoes, the narrow boats they used. trophies and scalpings for a traveler's den. Sometimes it's true they dance, but for a tribe, after a deal donned the bedraggled feather and welcome a white maya to the tribe. The feathers, the fur are the rich identity of these people, right? Now, the bedraggled, it's in a bad, untidy condition, right? They dance. See, once upon a time, they lived. Dance is part of their everyday life. They enjoy dancing, and it is also a spiritual experience, like a campfire dance, right? Which we used to dance today. See, they used to. It's a natural part of their identity, their everyday life, and they dance for pleasure, for joy, the joy of dancing, and also it is also a spiritual experience. But today, they are dancing for a penny, right? For to welcome a white mayor to the tribe. A visitor is coming, a tourist is coming, and they dance if they give a penny, right? If they want to receive a white mayor, they are dancing. So for money, they are selling their tradition, their culture, the dance. So this is a grassy ghetto and no home, grassy ghetto. And there are fauna animals in a museum kept, grassy ghetto, kind of oxymoron. And no home, and these are fauna in a museum, right? Their animals, their identity or their articles, their ornaments, their objects, everything is kept in a museum. The better hunters have prevailed. The game, losing its blood, now makes these grounds its crypt. The animals pale, the shine of the fur is lost. The shine of the fur is lost. Bleached are their living bones. Okay, their glory is lost today. Bleached are their living bones. The bodies are kept bleached, okay, in the museum, and them watch as through a mist the pious prosperous ghost. About them watch as through a mist the pious prosperous ghost. The pious prosperous ghost may mean indirectly, it may have many connotations in the sense the white people or the people who have lost their culture and they have moved on to white ways of living, okay, the pious prosperous ghosts. Or it may also refer to the past, which is okay, which was once prosperous, okay, and they are seeing it as the pious prosperous ghosts. Okay. So are you able to understand what this poem is about? Is you can see identity crisis, a quest for identity. What are the other themes? Can you respond? Any themes that you can think of with regard to this poem or to the lines? Can you respond? Identity crisis. Can I get your response to this poem or to the themes addressed? Don't you see a cultural conflict here? Conflict between cultures, and they have changed over a period of time. That is true, and kind of assimilation has happened, but they have lost the tradition. The fall of tradition, the fall of culture is what the poet is addressing about. And you can also see tradition versus modernity, right? And how the influence of modernity, the impact of Western culture, and the tradition on the other side. And illusion versus reality, right? The illusion may refer to the illusion that was created by the whites, the hopes these people had on them, and what's the reality. Okay, when colonization happened, maybe what was the condition of these people and how they thought about it, right? And the promises they were, okay, uh, maybe they were promises they had, and the betrayal that was, maybe that happened otherwise. Promises versus betrayal. And there happened a complete change in their culture. The Christianization of these people and the education system that was introduced, and the Christianization conversion to Christianity, all these things had a great impact on their culture. Today, see, that is why these people are dancing for, maybe they are selling their culture. It has become a product to sell, right? In the shops for tourists to see and buy. Okay, the dance has become a commodity, right? For the pennies, they are dancing. See how all these tradition, the rich tradition these people had. Now they are, maybe these people themselves, they are selling it for money. The natives themselves, now they are in a condition, maybe they are ashamed of their culture, but also they are in a bad state of affairs, right? That they had to sell their own past, their tradition, their culture to live, right? To live. That's the condition. That's the condition of these people. It is no more a living culture. It has become a saleable product. Maybe they are performing for money. They are performing. Would you like to respond? Anything? Any questions, comments? We can add some points too. Anything that is interesting that you find, maybe that has got your attention, please respond to these themes and lines. I think you have read, right? Is it clear? Are you able to understand and follow me? Anything you would like to say, please, with regard to the themes, with regard to what we were discussing, right? Anything more you'd like to add? One or two points. What do you think of this? Maybe why they are into this state? Can you respond? Why they maybe are in this state today? Is it possible for them to go back to their past, reclaim their identity? Maybe as according to the poem, there is no hope, not much of hope, but still, what do you think of this native culture versus the Western culture, and these people who are today, they have assimilated into the mainstream culture? What do you think of them, of their tradition, of their culture, and now it is in the museums for everybody to see, and no more a living culture, maybe we can say, but still there may be there may be some hope for us to know about these people and their cultures. It's still there, but it has become commodified. It has been commodified even by their own people, right? Commodified by them because of the cultural changes that has happened. So what do you think? What do you think?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, according to me, they start to like the Western culture and their ancient culture. They praise the ancient culture, but they start to lead a Western life. So it's impossible to turn to the ancient culture, sir. According to me, it's my perspective.
It's not possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, Aishwarya. And also, they were hunting, and their everyday life was maybe gathering food and hunting practices. It was basically they hunt for food, and they were no longer able to do all these maybe in the changed landscape, cultural landscape, but it is no longer they are following these practices. Some of the key practices which are essential to continue their uh, way of life, the tradition, and that is also an important factor. See, whites they hunt for sport, for pleasure, but these natives they hunt primarily for food, right? To gather food. So it is not hunting for pleasure or hunting for sport. That is a crime according to the Aboriginal laws. You have to hunt only to satisfy your need. Okay, you should not satisfy your greed. That is, there are some strict Aboriginal laws which are followed by these people. So they have forgotten all these things, and uh, maybe because of the domination of the mainstream culture, and
And sir,
hmm,
and the whole world is developing, sir. The whole world, you like to start the technology. The whole world is start to use technology, but why they only just hunting and they lead a rural life, sir. They have to develop themselves, right, sir?
Aishwarya, come again.
So the whole world is moving forward to technology,
Yeah,
and why they and how they only hunting and they lead like rural life, sir. They too
you
have
mean
to develop
they will not be
themselves
able to do it
towards
anymore, right?
technology, right, sir?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. You say that they can. Still, it is possible for them to uh, live their life, right, in their own way. If it is, maybe if they have the mind to do it. See, it is not just physical change or the geographical change, cultural change that has happened. It is also a change in their mindscape, right? Their psyche has been changed, right? They are assimilated into the mainstream culture today. And maybe they, because they are selling their own products, see their condition. They are selling their own culture. So they have changed completely. Their character has changed. It is they have to go back to maybe in order to retain their or make their culture a living culture, right? So they have to change. Their character have to change. And that is why you say in the beginning, he says, "Where are the braves?" Right? They are living in a sense of fear, and their everyday life itself has become uh, a dark reality, right? They are fighting to live their life every day, right? To sustain their life. That itself has become a problem. So in that state, what they will do. Anybody else, please, your response to the poem, to the lines, or to the thematic concerns you're addressing. Saranya, Jenny, You have anything to say? Do you want me to show the lines? Hope you are clear about the ideas we have discussed, right? The themes we have discussed. Here you can add some points or you can respond. Maybe I want to make it a discussion for a few minutes. Okay then. So in the next class, we will discuss the dying eagle. Okay, AM claims the dying eagle. Read the text and come so that we can discuss. Right at the end of my lecture, I'll have a discussion at least for 5 minutes. Okay, be ready for that. Read the poem and come. Okay, take rest. We'll meet in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.